Welcome to The Creative Influencer, where we discuss all things creative with an emphasis on influencers. The Creative Influencer is hosted by John Pfeiffer. John is an entertainment attorney in Santa Monica, California, who represents influencers and other creatives.
This is lucky mini-sode number 13 of the 4th season of the Creative Influencer podcast. And today, we're going to talk about how to avoid being unlucky with your social media past. It's a constant of our social media age. People post insensitive comments in the moment only to regret it later. Sometimes that regret is immediate. Think tweeting under the influence. Other times, it can be a post from many years ago which have aged like old milk. Influencers are already keenly aware of the importance of keeping their social media channels positive and on brand by regularly auditing their social media accounts to remove old posts or videos that may be seen in a negative light. And while this best practice of auditing your social media is applicable to anyone who cares about their personal brand, it is especially important for student athletes to start this cleanup process now before they get ready to enter the limelight. Of course, student athletes are already ambassadors for their school or their athletic department and team. When the name, image, and likeness rules go into effect, we can add brands and sponsors to that list, both the athlete's own brand and those they may work with as an influencer. Now let's talk about moral clauses. These considerations are compounded by the fact that most influencer brand deals require good behavior by the influencer by way of what are called moral clauses. The reason behind a morals clause is that the brand paying for the marketing services by the influencer wants to protect itself from any sort of negative publicity from the actions of the influencer. A typical morals clause is generally something like this. No payment would be required if the agreement is canceled by the brand prior to the posting date of the video due to the influencer having been or alleged to have been at any time involved in any act or situation which in the brand's sole and good faith judgment A. shocks, insults, or offends the community, B. constitutes an act or offense involving moral turpitude under any federal, state, or local law, or C. brings influencer into public disrepute, contempt, scandal, or ridicule. If in the brand's sole and good faith judgment, posting the video would reflect poorly on the brand or the brand's products or services, the brand shall have the right to terminate the agreement and no payment shall be required. So, what's important to point out here, it can even sound unfair at first, is that these clauses often just require the allegation of one of these offenses and are one-sided to the brand. So let's talk about the rules of the road, what you should know, and what you should not post. Many brands are also writing in specific off-topic subjects that should not be in posts made as part of the influencer marketing agreement. All influencers should not post on any of the following off-topic subjects: drugs, alcohol, illegal activities, dangerous activities that may result in harm to oneself or others, animal welfare, overt sexual behavior such as nude photos or sex tapes, politics, reproductive issues such as abortion and contraception, terrorism, war. Now, while common sense sometimes posts converge on the boundaries of these topics, it's wise just to avoid them altogether. So, a social media audit, what you should remove from past posts. Keeping in mind these off-limit topics, this is where an audit of the past posts comes into play, especially those made when you may not have even been thinking about being an influencer or having others scrutinize your social media feed. Starting with your oldest tweet, post, or video, look back and remove any reference or anything that could be mistaken as a reference to any of the previously mentioned off-limit topics. Practically speaking, take down all pictures that include a red cup, because even if it's just a soda, it can be interpreted as promoting alcohol. Take down all pictures where you are smoking, regardless of the substance being smoked. And social justice posts are great, but think twice about partisan political posts, red or blue. Lastly, as part of your audit, search on major search engines for your name and add in terms related to those topics to make sure nothing comes up that could fall into an off-limits category. Don't be a cautionary tale. The reason for a simple search as part of your audit is that when you search for a person's name or an athlete's team name plus a term like racial slur or insensitive, you often find old posts or controversies that would become a problem for a brand deal. The list of examples of athletes and celebrity here are long. Add to this countless list of social media fails. Don't be a cautionary tale.
That's it for this time. If you enjoyed our podcast, please write a review on iTunes and tell your friends to subscribe. If you have any questions about influencers or suggestions for future episodes, email them to John at Pfeiffer@pfeifferlaw.com. Thank you for listening.